There is a way of feeling something that consists entirely of describing it. If that sentence stung, stay here. Here is a question, and answer it honestly before we go anywhere. When was the last time you said something true without first making it interesting? Not funny, not clever, not framed for the person listening, just the flat sentence. If that took a moment, or if the honest answer was that you cannot remember, the moon in your chart may well be in Gemini. This placement does not hide what it feels. It performs a small edit on the way out every time, automatically. After a bad day, it does not go quiet and it does not go home. It goes to find someone to tell. Words are how this placement digests things. An experience that has not been described to anybody is not yet finished being experienced. That is a genuine capacity and also the problem. Somewhere between the feeling and the sentence, the feeling gets improved, sharpened, made funnier, given a shape that lands. It is not avoiding the feeling, it is translating it, and translation is distance. Picture a crossroad sign, which fits this one better than the twins do. Several arms, each pointing somewhere real, and the post itself standing still. It knows every direction. It has described all of them accurately to other people. It has not walked down one. And there is a second version of this person who never gets into the conversation at all. Quieter, slower, considerably less entertaining, and the one who actually felt the thing. Where that version went is the third movement of this reading. Take the mechanism apart. Something happens. Within seconds, this placement has begun converting it into an account, a beginning, a turn, a line at the end. By the time the account exists, the raw material has been processed into something transmissible. And the conversion is genuinely how it knows things. Ask this placement what it thinks, and the honest answer is that it will find out during the sentence. It does not think in order to speak. It speaks in order to find out what it thinks. The same applies to the body. Stillness is not restful here. A walk, a drive, a train window, anything with movement in it settles this placement faster than sitting down ever will. The nervous system wants scenery, and it wants it changing. Curiosity is how it shows affection, which people mistake for nosiness. When this placement likes you, it starts collecting you. What you read, how you got here, the odd fact about your grandmother. The questions are not small talk. They are the gift. There are two registers running here, and both of them are sincere. One is fast, funny, endlessly available, and can hold a table for 3 hours. The other is slow and has almost no vocabulary at all because it has had far less practice speaking. And there is exactly one subject the fast register cannot make interesting. It is the subject the slow one is for. We will get to it at the end because the fact that it cannot be made interesting turns out to be the whole point. Here is the second version and where it went. Somewhere early, being interesting worked. It got attention, diffused a room, made an adult laugh at the right moment. Being upset did not work nearly as well, so it was routed through the part that did. Nothing was suppressed. That is what makes this hard to spot. The feeling arrived, got picked up, and left the building as language before anyone, including this placement, had a chance to sit with it in its original condition, which produces the strangest symptom of this placement. Total fluency about its own difficulties, combined with almost no contact with them. It can describe the wound in detail and never once be standing next to it. Anyone trying to get close finds it articulate and unreachable at the same time. The other exit is motion. When something gets heavy, this placement finds a new project, a new city, a new person to be curious about. It reads as appetite for life. Some of it is leaving a room before the room lands. The cost lands on the people closest to it, who get enormous access and very little arrival. They know every story. They have met the whole cast, and they could not tell you what this placement is actually carrying at the moment because it has not said. That is not dishonesty. The fast register is not a mask over a real self. It is a real self that got most of the practice. The slow one is not hidden, it is undertrained, and undertrained things go quiet when the room fills up. What draws it in is a mind it cannot predict. Looks matter less here than most descriptions suggest. Say something it has not heard before, and you will have its complete attention, which is a considerable thing to receive. Then the openness starts, and it is easy to misread. You will hear about its childhood on the second evening, and it will be funny about it. You will be told everything and shown almost nothing, and both of you will believe it went well. In an argument, it goes fast. It will outtalk you, reframe your point, produce 3 counterexamples and a joke, and win. Winning is not the aim. The aim is to keep the exchange in the register where it is strong, which is language. Its opposite works the other way round. A Sagittarius moon believes the thing it is saying, sometimes far past the evidence. This one holds several positions lightly and commits to none of them. Conviction against agility, and each quietly envies the other. What actually reaches this placement is not more talking. It is someone who stays put while it circles, does not chase the joke, and asks the same question a second time in the same plain words. That second asking is the whole intervention. And from the inside, it comes down to one sentence with no shape on it. No setup, no punchline, no clever framing. Say the plain version and then stop talking, which will be the hard part. If you have this placement, tell me which house it falls in. I read them. The work this placement is built for moves information between people who would otherwise not understand each other. Teaching, writing, broadcasting, selling, translating, running the meeting that keeps going in circles. Mastery here is making a hard thing land in someone else's head intact. It picks things up absurdly quickly. Give it a new field, and within a fortnight, it can hold a credible conversation with a specialist. This is a genuine and marketable talent, and it is also the beginning of the trouble. Because what it refuses is the long middle, the unglamorous stretch that comes after the interesting part and before the finished thing, where nothing new is being learned and the work is only being done. That stretch is where this placement quietly leaves the building. So the pattern reads as a series of promising starts. 4 fields entered brilliantly and left at month 5. Colleagues remember it as gifted. Its own account is less generous, and the word it uses about itself is usually scattered. That word is doing damage and it is inaccurate. Nothing is scattered here. One thing is missing, and it is not discipline. It is the belief that a thing carried past the boring part becomes something the interesting part alone never could. The arrangement that works keeps the variety and moves it inside one field rather than between 4. Same subject, changing angles. A new set of people every quarter. This placement does not need less novelty than it wants. It needs the novelty pointed at one thing. So, the subject the fast register cannot make interesting. It is whatever this placement is currently going through, said flat in the present tense without a frame. I am frightened. I miss them. I do not know what I am doing. Say any of those with a good line attached and the sentence stops being true. That is the discovery waiting here, and it takes most of a life to arrive at. Some things are only true in their flattest form, which is how the quiet version gets back into the conversation, not by being drawn out, and certainly not by being interviewed, by being given a sentence to say that nobody is going to find entertaining, and then a few seconds of silence afterwards. When that starts happening, the talking does not stop and does not need to. It gains a floor. the same fluency, the same range, the same delight in a good fact, with a person underneath it who is present in the room while speaking. One correction before we finish, and almost everyone repeats the error. There is no dark side of the moon. Every part of it receives sunlight in turn. The far side is not dark at all. It is simply the side that never faces us. And in Gemini, Castor looks like one star and is 6, 3 pairs orbiting each other, too far away to separate by eye. The name for the unseen half was never darkness. It was distance, and distance is the one thing a plain sentence closes.